We're here.
We're back again. Hey, everybody. Hey, hello and welcome back to another episode of Carvers and Creators, a weekly demonstration and discussion with sculptors, carvers, and multi-talented artists from around the world. If you're a fan of the show and you like what we do, make sure you give us a like and a follow on the platform you're watching us on, and let us know in the comments where you're watching from. My name is Paul Dever. I'm an artist and sculptor from Boston, Massachusetts. With me, as always, is my co-host, an artist and sculptor from Tucson, Arizona, Matt Harper. Hi, Matty.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you guys. Yeah, and there's us together.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Our guests tonight are sculptors and fabricators specializing in one-of-a-kind silicone and resin props and custom display pieces. Please welcome back to the show from a secret location in Iowa, Michael Perry and Angela Weber.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, guys.
Long time no see.
I know. It's been a while.
It's good to have you back.
Well, thanks for having us back.
You guys have been real busy, boy. Been checking out the Instagram.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's been a hell of a couple of years. So.
Awesome. I love to see it.
And still disturbing as ever. I mean,
we do what we can. We do what we can.
Yeah,
yes, completely unnerving. It's fantastic. I love it.
Thank you.
So, Maddie, we have multiple weeks of carving to review here. So I think we should probably dive into that. We got 2 weeks, right? Because last week we had Mr. Mike Giblin on, and then we had Reed Caesar the week before that.
Right.
And the Mike's was a recorded episode, so we didn't get to review the sculpts at hand. We should probably go through those.
We should probably get to that really quick because I got a million questions for these guys. And our stuff's good and all, but we wait till you see what their stuff.
Well, there's just no comparison. It's
silly.
That's why we talk. They do the sculpting. We just basically do the talking. They're the professionals. More I talk, the less I sculpt.
It's all good.
Where do we start?
Let's start with the first one. That's probably the best. At the beginning, that's usually where you start.
That's like the very first place to start.
Okay, so this one is the Confused Werewolf we had to do with Reed Caesar. Great guy, amazing sculptor.
Really nice.
So that was this is actually a squash that Matt picked out when he was over here on the East Coast. We had to do a gig for Duncan, and we walked into the supermarket to get water and beer, and Matt couldn't help himself and grabbed the squash while we were waiting in the checkout line. And he didn't take it. He didn't take it home with you, so I carved it up.
Yeah, you should see my house. If you didn't know any better, you think it was a produce aisle of all pumpkins in my house. I can't walk by one without grabbing something.
So good.
You made good use of it, Paul. I love this guy's face. It's the way you do the hair with that lino tool is just ridiculous, and I don't even want to try it because that's totally yours. But damn it, that's good.
No, none of it. Listen, anything I do is certainly not mine. I definitely borrowed it from someone else or saw it somewhere else, right? Yeah, I should. If you've got the kind of time it takes to sit there and it's like giving a prison tattoo, but to a vegetable or a fruit. Like every hair, you know what I mean? Like I got the little needle and the
yeah. Oh, and we got a question here.
Hey, John.
About the moon phase.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
I'm sure that was it. I'm sure. Yeah, mine. I had a round pumpkin, so luckily he had enough meat in him to make this kind of pug / bulldog looking fella here.
So good, buddy. It's got like a bat feel to it too. It's got multiple.
Yeah, there's no such real thing as werewolves, so it's up to my interpretation too. When pumpkins are involved, So
that's a good point. I mean, I don't think you can say that for 100% sure that there isn't werewolves, but.
That's true.
Maybe not in Arizona.
Well, yeah, exactly. Out here, they're called javelina.
Javelinas, yeah.
Oh, they're a little different.
But yeah, the way you tuck the nose in, and like you said, you give it that short muzzle, and the teeth are real pushed against the skin on the bottom there. It's awesome. The perspective is nice too.
Thank you. It was a fun one. I was worried, and you can't really tell, but next to the eye. And on the sides where I trimmed behind the ears, it was like paper thin. So if I had took a pinky and boop, you would pop it. So I was it had to be very delicate. But the perils of pumpkins, as I said.
Right.
The big fella's got soft hands.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, and then this one was with Mike Giblin. That was a Furious Devil.
Right.
Yeah, if I could do the horns over again, I would. I was kind of rushed on this one.
Yeah.
And I glued on a big nose, which you can't really tell from this stupid perspective, but
no, but you can tell that you can't see the seam either, which is like part of the magic as well.
I can see the seam. I can't look at anything else. It's all I can see is the seam.
Oh, stop it! You're kidding.
There's no seam.
I'm actually looking. I don't even see it.
Yeah, gross.
Anyway,
they can't all be home runs, man.
And here's my Furious Devil.
Wow.
I had a stem coming out of his ear, so I stuck a different one on the top of his head. So
That's really cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
he's furious.
he really
And
is.
the fun part was turning him. Paul did this the first time. I'll give you all the credit, Paul. When we first did kabocha squash, instead of which are kind of flat, you turn them on their side and it has a perfect round like face, the profile. And so I did that with this one because it was relatively squatty, and it turned out really good because you could get a whole lot of like meat to do the forehead all the way to the chin.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, you knocked it out of the park, bud.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row.
hey,
Unbelievable.
what
Killing
can you do? What can you do?
I don't know. I can't keep up with you, apparently.
Stop. Just please.
It's not a contest, Matt. It's not a contest.
No, never. But speaking of contests, maybe we should get to our next part, which is going to help determine even more anxiety this week.
Oh, the third member of Carvers and Creators is the wheel. The center spinner, the Hello Wheel, the anxiety filled fun that we have every single Thursday here.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll give that a go.
All right, Paul, I'm going to zoom in on you, Paul, so we can get a good look at what we're actually going to be making here. And then
sure. Hi, kids. All right. So did we have the wheel last time when you were here? Last time I think we did, right? Because I think we did a witch.
I think it just ended up just turning into just kind of a like generic face sort of thing in the end.
Just started.
Dead.
Yeah, I think I could go back in the archives to last time you were here, and I think that was maybe one of the first time we used the wheel. So she's got a couple miles on her now. I mean, she's really broken in. So the wheel for everybody watching on the interwebs and for you guys. So the first time we're going to spin it will be the character that we're going to carve. The second time we spin it will be the emotion or attribute that we got to apply to it. So tonight's choices will be Viking, werewolf, guest choice, undead, fantasy animal, vampire, demon, Frankenstein, goblin, and aquatic. Second spin will be distraught, shocked, guest choice once again, so have them ready. Crazy, devious, excited, furious, sad, flustered, and confused. Wow. Who put these names on the wheel? Oh, that was me. Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, Paul, you're to blame.
Hey, Fuller, we missed you too.
Dr. Fuller missed us. We missed him too. We missed you, brother.
Paging Dr. Fuller. All right, here we go. First spin. Frank.
Oh.
Okay.
Now, I never write Stein because number one, it's just way too long of a word to put in that small space. But then it also opens it up to whatever Frank I feel like carving. But I'll go Frankenstein on this one because it's so close to Halloween. And Frank is going to be distraught. Oh, the emotion distraught.
Oh my goodness.
Boy.
Okay. I'm going to put that in the old thingamabobber here.
I feel like he was constantly distraught, wasn't he? Kind of like, I'm lost. I'm confused. All right. Distraught Frank.
Distraught Frank.
Ooh.
Any old
Any old Frank. At one point we had a sign that was on the highway that only said Frank Museum because the wind had cut it in half. It was the Anne Frank Pen Pal Museum, but the way that it broke, it was just the Frank Museum.
Yeah.
How many disappointed people that were looking for just, my name's Frank, my father's name's Frank, there's a museum dedicated to Frank.
We want Franks of all shapes and sizes and colors.
Right.
That's
right.
all
I'm
we
starving. I want a Frank.
Yeah, let's go get a Frank. Oh, here's the museum. They must have a lot of them.
All right, so at this point in the show, before we get going, we're going to give everybody watching a couple minutes to grab some tools, whatever you're going to carve, whether it's a perishable item, you're going to paint, you're going to do some clay.
Oh.
Everybody's got their medium. We don't judge. We will be carving pumpkins, but in order for us to carve a pumpkin, we got to loosen up a little with some carving oil because the joints just don't move like they used to. So we like to have a beverage, and it's good luck to toast before we dive into these things. So that's what we tell everybody. It's great. We're making it
our rules. Our rules. We make them up. Yeah.
That's right. I'll show our rules. Maddie, what do you have tonight?
You know what, Paul? I was blessed to get 2 of these when I was in beautiful Massachusetts. I was just in Boston with Paul, and he bestowed upon me 2 Mighty Squirrel cloud candies. I finished one on the last show, and then I'm gonna have one tonight. So,
well, you can thank Lenora for that. That's totally.
I do, and I will, and she's the best. Paul's wife is amazing. So I'm thanking her for this. This is great.
Yes, she keeps me slightly buzzed constantly.
If she can't see you all the time or there's a little fuzz, it's probably better.
Yeah, it's better that way for me.
How about you? What do you got?
Oh, hello. Well, so I got to finish these guys off, and I made a slight error when I first purchased it because I love the name of it, Smashed Pumpkin from Shipyard Brewing, another local brewery. Come on, focus, you.
Focus.
There it is. Simple, right? Smashed Pumpkin. And I'm like, oh, what a cool can. And then I'm like, oh, it's 9%.
Oh.
But it's also a wheat. It's a wheat beer, which I love. So I can't complain about it. I just can't have too many of them, to be honest with you. But 1 PINT, that's good enough for me.
All right, now
what do you guys have? What are you drinking tonight?
Just plain old coffee.
Plain old coffee.
In unison, even. I like it.
Yeah. It's unified coffee. That's the special kind.
Yep, without a doubt.
That's it. Well, you guys, I'm sure are working hard because you've been so busy. And putting out amazing stuff. So I'm pretty sure that there is no clock in the studio, right? It's just work.
No, there is no clock. It's true.
Yeah.
Let me guess. It's like Vegas where you don't even have windows. You just like
we don't.
We have no.
You come down here. It could be nighttime. Could be daytime.
There have been so many times we've come upstairs and we're like, oh my God, it's pitch black out.
Yep.
Like,
Jesus. You know what you guys need to do? You need to unionize against yourselves. You got to yourself.
Yeah, get some labor laws going in that house.
I know. Flip a coin to see who the shop steward is. Well, it's great to have you guys back.
Thank you.
So happy you guys are doing well in your new secret lair location.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And here's to carving, everybody watching. That is good for a 9%er. I will tell you that. Holy Moses. All right. Beautiful. So, Maddie, why don't we start at the... Well, I know there is no real beginning because as far as I can remember, Grayhouse Studios has been something that I've always gravitated towards and just stared at it, been mesmerized by it, grossed out by it in the great way because it's unbelievably gross and like well done.
Yeah.
Like look at this one. Jesus. That's crazy.
I love that one. That was a major build for us.
Yeah, that was
nightmare inducer
such a
right
fun
there.
piece.
Yeah.
That was our nicknamed Rubber Johnny because that's exactly what it looked like. Like about halfway through, it's like, oh my God, that looks like Rubber Johnny.
Yeah, that
so
was
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's disturbing on like so many different levels, but like all of your stuff, and this is one thing that has always enamored me, and I'm going to carve in a minute, but I just got to ask this question. So there's like TV shows all the time, and they talk about this forensic farm where if you decide you want to donate your body to science, you can. You can donate it to the farm where they'll put you in a suitcase out in a field for a year, and they'll check on the maggots and so they can check decomposition. All it's disgusting. But I look at your stuff. I'm like, okay, they've been at the farm.
I wish.
These guys know like human decomposition. Like it's amazing. I'm like always disgusted and wonder in the good way, kind of disgusted. Do you guys ever study? Do you study a lot of like necro? I mean, whatever. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking for inspiration and everything like that out there. I mean, they've taken a lot of the gore sites off of the internet these days.
That makes it hard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can find it like still on the internet, but it's a little bit more buried than what it used to be, like back in the 90s and
Very,
everything.
Yeah, I mean, really, the amount of really terrible reference photos that I have on my phone.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I listen to these court cases where they're trying to damn somebody based on their internet history and their saved files. And I'm like, God, I really hope nothing ever happens because that doesn't look good.
Oh God! Before I die, that's going to be in my will. Please erase my internet search history.
Yeah, just the history.
Just not all the bookmarks and all that good stuff.
And by the way, just to make sure this point is very clear, we have our folks from Grayhouse. You can see if I can get my camera to work. Sculpting along with us. So I'm just going to.
Oh, that's right. I love when
this is always a treat.
Down.
To have our guests kind of creating along with us. So tell us what you got there.
Well, right now we're just working with monster clay, just building up an armature and just starting to block everything out. Nothing too fancy,
Okay, it's early, but I mean, so monster clay on a little.
Yeah, we literally made this like right before the show. It's just
That's
a piece
true.
of wood with,
Wow,
with a bolt. I mean, that's about it.
Oh, you're so honored. Look at this.
That's like a shop. That's like a real shop. You can just make stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One side is dedicated to like the silicone and the resins and everything, and the other side is all the woodworking and packaging and all that kind of stuff. So,
Oh wow,
Nice.
you
Yes,
got to check
going on.
them out. That's true. Yeah, it is a business after all.
it really
It
is.
is,
It is. Yeah.
Most days we go from bed to studio, and that's how it goes.
That's it. You want that glamorous life.
Yeah.
that's what it's all
It's
about.
so glamorous.
Yeah.
Matt and I struggle with it too. We're all about that pumpkin life. So it's just
Yes.
nonstop,
Yeah. Yeah.
No, my camera isn't being good, but I'm gonna forget me for a second. Let's go back to you because there's so many awesome things we got to talk about that that you guys do, like this fella. And he has a name, right?
This was just the like a cadaver.
The cadaver.
The cadaver. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was life size as well.
Yeah.
We actually have one right behind us
Yeah,
right
right
now
back here.
that we're starting.
Oh
up.
wait, let's look at him real quick. I'd love to see that.
Sure. We literally just cast this
Oh wow.
this past
Oh, my
weekend. So we're working on all the seaming, and then after that we're gonna rip the whole face apart and kind of like rebuild everything. That's pretty much how these things are made. I mean, they're just, we don't generally stick with just right out of the mold, just stick with the casting. We'll do something else with it too. So
Always.
yeah, we'll take
Wow.
out the mouth and add our own gums and teeth and all that stuff. So yeah.
That's interesting because I was going to ask you about that because each piece is one of a kind. So you're basically starting from scratch each time you cast one. It's new, and you actually have to decay it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
amazing.
there's a lot of just kind of even mixing sometimes castings from one mold to another mold, like adding a different nose or something and taking that off, blending it all in and trying to make them a little bit different each time, just so it's a little more special that way. It's not a mass produced sort of look or anything. So
Sure, and I'm sure to your collectors and the people that want that one of a kind piece of
Yeah.
art, that's huge because it's at that personal touch.
yeah, and I mean sometimes it can be a little difficult because they'll see a piece that we had done maybe like a couple years ago or something and say, well, we want this piece, and it's like, well, we can get it close to it, but it's not going to be exactly the same. I mean, a lot of the times we're sculpting with the liquid silicone, stretching it and pulling it in a certain way, and a lot of it's just happy accidents that kind of makes it. So it's hard to recreate some of the effects on some of them, but we do our best.
Yeah, but I think that's a great thing too, because it's going to be in the ballpark, and it's still going to resemble what that person really, connected with and they want as part of their collection. But can't be exactly the same. Like
I mean,
you said,
it's
just
really difficult. I mean, we can match the skin tones and everything the best that we can, but as far as how the silicone like lays on it, it's
Different
up
every
to that
time.
silicone that day.
Yeah.
damn
So that brings
silly.
up another question. So when you're creating these for people and you're doing let's say mass production, you're doing multiples of them, and each one though, and what you're describing is unique. So you're not just doing one casting and then just making 50 copies and going and running
Right.
Yeah.
each one.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of hours. I mean, that's
Yeah.
It really
Yes.
is.
insanity.
It really is.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
There's virtually nothing we outsource. Everything is started with either a polyurethane or a silicone or a resin mold, and we do all of our own pouring, casting of everything from teeth to eyes to gums. Everything starts from scratch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It all comes in liquid form, and we have multiple containers.
Oh my god.
That is amazing.
So you have a strange truck backing up to your house and just with a hose, and just like pumps in a bunch of liquid.
That would be so awesome.
I wish. Yeah. 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 Because that shit's not cheap, you know.
No.
Maybe
So
in
what-
bulk. Who knows?
What do you guys? I mean, you must have stockpiles of everything, but I know the little bit that I've done, I always run into we don't ship in the winter. It freezes.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So you got to make sure you have enough to get through winter months, right? Before
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I think we generally go through Reynolds Advanced Materials for a lot of our silicones and resins and things, and the closest one is in Chicago. So if we order something, it's generally here in about a day or two. So
Yeah.
it's really not that bad as far as traveling times in the winter. But some of the stuff we used to get from Brick in the Yard.
Yep.
And you know, that's in Texas, so that can take like a little bit longer and it's a little more iffy, you know.
That's right. You were the one that told me about Brick in the Yard.
Yeah.
Talk
Oh,
coming
nice,
back
yeah.
to me. I had a Reynolds, and there was a Reynolds in Boston, and they just closed it last year.
Yeah,
So
I saw
Yes.
that.
I'm very
Which is
upset with them.
crazy.
So upset with them. I hate waiting for any. I don't even like the 2-day wait on Amazon anymore. That shit's
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
I've gotten way too used to it. I want it now, like
Yep.
Veruca.
Yep. No, I completely hear you. Yep.
I might change my mind. Do you know what I mean? 2 days time, I could completely. I could rethink the whole thing. You'd be given that kind of time. See, I love these. These are so creepy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. All those teeth.
And I love him too. And in fact, I read he's slightly reminiscent of my little buddy here. I'm a proud owner of.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
My little flesh snowman. I'm gonna have to zoom him in because it's just too cute not to show everybody here.
Yeah.
I love the fig leaf. Might be my
Yeah.
Yeah,
favorite addition. That's very customized, Matt.
very, very.
Uh-oh. Whoops. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was a PG show.
Yeah, because not everybody wants to see that. So we're like, well, how can we do it? So like, just in
No,
case.
it's beautiful. He goes
It's the
everywhere.
personal touches, Mike. You know, it's just the little personal touches that make it so sweet.
Right.
I love
Right.
Yeah, now we just
I
do
love this.
maggots out of there. That's all we use.
It's
Maggots.
become my Christmas time, little buddy. Instead of like Elf on a Shelf, I got my little flesh.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah.
Oh,
My kids are disturbed because of it, but hey, I mean, I'm their dad. What are you gonna do?
yeah. Yeah. It's something.
Yeah.
To say the least. Yeah.
Now, so you cast this, right? I'm
Yep.
assuming the gums and teeth are separate, or just the teeth
Yeah.
come out
Yeah,
separate?
gums
Gums
and
and
teeth. And that's
Wow.
two full sets of teeth in that one sculpture. So it's like something like 48
Oh, wow.
teeth, something like that.
Something like that.
And each one is put in individually and glued
Oh my
in, and
Yeah.
yeah, spaces
Okay,
need to be cut into the silicone to allow for more teeth that weren't in the sculpture itself. And yeah. it's-
Okay, now hang on a second. I don't know about John. That's not very nice.
Yeah.
Come on, I do brush, but
He just drew first blood, Rambo.
I know. So the teeth, because I was completely blown away by this last time we talked, which was what, 114 years ago. But
Right.
we're talking about how you take they're miniature versions, but there's some process, right, into making them smaller or like dental, like specific
Oh yeah,
dental
yeah. I guess
pieces.
some of the pieces, yeah, they do have the like the half scale teeth. That was God. I had only done that once with the entire set of teeth, and it was this stuff called Shrink It, I believe,
Mhm.
and that was from Brick in the Yard, and like the material is like really soft, and it just it evaporates and it just shrinks the entire casting.
Okay.
It's extremely delicate to work with. It almost like feels like a hard boiled egg sort of
Oh
feeling
wow.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. We only did that on that one occasion. I don't even remember what I needed them for.
The skull,
For the skull.
the mini skull that you sculpted.
Oh,
Yeah.
So there you go.
I always.
So you would almost push it into a mold like Play-Doh in a way?
No, it was.
You would
I think
sculpt it?
it was a 2-part. You had to do it really quick, and then just you pour that into the mold, and then very carefully take that casting out.
Yeah.
And I put it in like a
Dehydrator.
dehydrator, and it just took the whole thing like right down. So yeah, that stuff was pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
Well, I mean, it's amazing because the teeth look so perfectly anatomically correct, but they're just shrunk. I mean, anyway.
Yeah. It picked up a lot of the detail with the teeth. Yeah,
We were very surprised by I think it was the mold of that mold. It gave us really good outcomes from that.
Yeah.
To the point that some of the castings, like we have some off castings sometimes that we throw into a bin, and there's a lot of times I'm looking for teeth, just like a few, and I'll find like almost a half set of teeth, and I'm like, why haven't we used these ones? And I have to really look, and it's like that's the wrong scale. They're really close.
Hey, you're perfectionists at the end of the day.
I
got a question. So, like, when you clearly work together really well. So we see all your pieces, and I know this is kind of a joint. You're doing all this together. And when we've interviewed folks and talked to folks who do stuff as a team, I'm always enamored by like who picks up what parts. I mean, like, who does what, who starts, and how you take critiques from each other. I'd love to know because I mean, you guys are pretty close and you spend a lot of time together.
Sure.
How does that work from the start of something?
Let's see. We generally have like smaller meetings at the beginning of the week as far as what we want to produce that week, because nothing is ever cast in stone as far as well, we absolutely have to get this piece out right now unless it's like a pre-order or whatever. So we'll go through and see what we want to do. She'll generally take on all the resin pieces, and she does all the painting of all the resin pieces. She paints the eyes, she does all the teeth, everything like that. I'll usually stick with silicone, or if there's any like woodworking involved, doing the shadow boxes or building the bases and stuff like that. I mean, hair punching, it's a free for all.
Yeah. At this point, my 13-year-old comes down and
Nice.
as well. So
Yes.
yeah, we've actually been teaching her as much as we can. And my oldest, whenever she comes down, usually, if they've got, my youngest has so many questions, and we've absolutely put her to work because she'll come down here full of beans, and it's like, you need something to do? Here, let's learn how to cast. And so
That is awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, and they enjoy it. I enjoy it. I really enjoy having them down here. I love watching them conquer something new and then get super excited about it. And it's like, oh my God, it worked, and it was really cool. When we first did, we now don't have this mold anymore because we broke it. We had a brain mold, and my youngest really wanted to cast a couple of brains for her science teacher, and she on such a kick out of doing that. And she was all sorts of nervous because it was a foam that we don't typically work with. So, it wasn't a perfect casting. And she's like, I don't know what I did wrong. I'm like, it's not you, it's the foam. Freaking foam.
I love that because now it's a family affair. I mean, this is a family
It
business.
is. Yes.
It really is.
So
It really is.
Yeah.
Man,
it's probably the strangest family business there ever was.
Oh,
Close, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you ain't seen nothing yet. Pumpkin guy's gonna get in on this too because I'm making my kids watch this episode, and guess what? Their chores are tomorrow.
Exactly.
Cleaning up after dad. Yeah, that's great. It's nice when they show interest. You know,
It is.
Yeah.
because usually with kids it's pushback, right? Like they want to do the opposite of whatever it is you want them to do. Like, hey, come do this. Well, working on a car, right? So that to me, if I was, my uncles were all gearheads and stuff like that, and I was always like, not really, not into motorcycles and stuff like that, guys. Like, appreciate the offer though.
Right.
Right.
So I can see where, like, maybe, but art. I mean, who doesn't want to do art? That's the weirdest thing. If you don't like art, I don't get it.
It's true.
No,
but
it's such a release though. And like, I mean, the world's a terrible place, right? We're all good there. But when you get to create something and make something, even if it's under a timeline or whatever it is, it helps you disappear for a little while from all the bad things in the world. And that's what, like, I'm thankful 2 out of my 3 daughters are like big time artists. And even the third one is like musically gifted. But when it comes to like that escape, if I didn't have it, I think I'd pull my hair out. And I did.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so when did you find art, Matt?
So yeah, exactly. So, but wait, this guy's the name, right? This one?
That's a caretaker.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the character. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've done so many variations of that guy. It's
I love him.
unbelievable.
It's such a good character, though.
I love him.
Yeah.
It's got just enough. It's got just enough of that whimsical feel to it that he could be completely deteriorating and it looked like his face was blown off, and you'd still be like,
He's like, oh,
he's cool. Yeah, he's cool. Any more real, you'd be like, that should be like blurred out.
Right. Right.
I can't even finish my sandwich.
Yeah.
Speaking of finishing sandwiches, this is
Oh,
more,
Yes.
this poor fella.
Yeah. We did like maybe 4 of those in total.
And never did them again.
Never again.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if it was too much. Like, there was a lot of inserts on that one. So like that whole back of the skull area,
Oh my God.
the eyes, the teeth, the gums, everything had to be all cut out and then reassembled into what you see there. Yeah, it was definitely, it was.
Oh God, just trying to get that skull cap to fit properly on that particular
Horrible.
mold. We had to quickly cast it, quickly pull it while it still wasn't quite cured, and then stretch it over the actual cast piece and wait for it to set. And then hope to God it worked this time.
Yeah.
That was always the big part. Did it work?
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, the more challenging ones, like they make you think about like how you can actually do these things, even if it doesn't seem like it would be possible at all. You know? I mean, I love a good challenge. Every once in a while, it's a good time.
That's why.
Like I said before, you'll look back and laugh. You'll look back and laugh, and then it's over.
Yeah.
What is it? Adventure is just misery in retrospect.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, I like that. Okay, I like that.
Oh,
You don't remember the bad parts, the whole
It's
thing.
true.
Sure. Yeah.
That's why people have more than one kid. You forget all the You forget all the crazy stuff. Let's have another.
Yeah.
I love this dude.
This one.
This is something I want to have, like, to like when my daughters want to go on a date, I'll just have this like sitting next to me. Just
there you go. Yeah.
Instead of loading a shotgun, like the quintessential thing, I'll just have this guy standing there looking at him.
You just go, my daughter had a dating app, and this is the one guy she swiped.
This is the one guy.
Invited him over. See, I was gonna say that one to me lends itself to an actual like me using that as reference. I try not to use a lot of reference, but the teeth on that, I just love that. See, I have a set of your teeth here, and I feel like a lot of my teeth come out perfect because I stare at those perfect teeth you gave me.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, all right, there's some crooked ass teeth. Now I can try to do crooked teeth.
Oh, God.
I feel like an orthodontist sometimes. I'm like, oh, I did them straight again. Like, no zombie has straight teeth. I just
That's
love
the problem. Just the nice part about like doing the ones you typically a body that's decomposing, teeth aren't that great. You get a little bit of leeway, but the beauty of the stuff you guys make is that they seem like they're placed perfectly. I don't know how that.
Exactly. No, I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, those ones. Yeah, I mean, just
I could grab them.
Yeah, go ahead. We're actually working on 3 more to be brought out, but yeah, the teeth that go into these, I mean, there was no holes for them, just even in the mold or whatever. So we just make our own holes and put the teeth in there. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, she's been working on painting these guys up right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know which way I'm going here.
There we go.
There we go.
go.
Oh my gosh.
So cool.
So he did a majority of the airbrush work on these just because he was very excited about getting the color on these.
That's
and
true.
then I kind of took over. So.
Wait, so just 1 second. So Michael, when you get excited about doing paint on something, you're trying to like kind of get, because I remember your tar man. We're gonna get to that. But this is a whole other fun one. But like, so in this case, you divide and conquer. You're doing some of that paint work. From what I'm seeing behind you there, you've got they're life size. Those are full.
Yes.
Yeah, those are full scale.
Okay, so how do you start just the geek in me, right? How do you start that? You use like a human skull and then build around it, or what do you?
Yeah. Sometimes we do, and then sometimes if it has like some sort of weird shape head, it's actually just easier to just block the entire thing out without the skull underneath it. But yes, something like that. That was, I wanted to like get a sculpture done completely within like a few days, which is unheard of for me because it generally takes months and months and months for me to at least finish one.
Sometimes years.
Yeah.
Not that I'm any better.
Yeah. So, but I just wanted to knock something out real quick. That was totally like just a regular size skull, and then just sculpted on top of that, molded it, cast it. It's all in resin. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. Pretty easy. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
You said pretty easy.
Yeah.
It sounds easy. Yeah.
The sarcastic shake. See that?
It's really not bad. It's not that bad.
No, he really thinks it's easy. It's easy for him.
It's right. It's like Elon Musk.
Yeah,
I just created like a rocket company. It's no big deal.
I don't know. It's not bad.
No, that's why we love talking to the professionals, because they make it look easy and we breeze through it. And Matt and I just hold our breath and say, someday.
We just take the pumpkins.
Come on,
Paul. I think if we just take the pumpkins, we have our medium. We just be in awe of everything else.
I believe the term is we skate our lane. That's what.
Exactly. Thank you. So good. Yeah. Like that flesh. Holy
so
crap.
Good.
Like
I love it.
I'm always enamored, and like
yes,
another favorite. Lunch down. I mean, some of these guys, and I know you guys, from a carpentry perspective, you're basically creating everything, even the stands and the whole thing, even the bases and everything like that too. So you've got a pretty full figured shop, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think if you saw what we really had behind here, you might be surprised at how we managed to make those things. Because I know there's a lot of times we look around and go, how did we do that?
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that must happen a lot, though, when you look back on some things that you do. Like, how did I even sculpt that? Like, you know what I mean? You kind of progress and you start following different paths, the way you do certain features and stuff. And then you look back on something like, I don't even remember how I used to be able to do that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, it's when people ask for stuff from, years and years back, it's like, Jesus Christ, I don't remember even how the hell did I do that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did
We'll
I
have
do
to
that?
sit
Did I
there
make that?
with the photo and go, wait, did you do this and this and this? You're like, no, they weren't doing that yet. And they're like, and we're like, we have to really break down the few pictures that some of these things actually only have, like a couple of pictures.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, working off that. I mean, it's
You know, it's
Yeah.
funny, and if John Fuller's still watching, I've actually asked him this before too, because a lot of his old stuff, I'm like, did you make an extra mold? Did like,
Oh,
like you just throwing molds out? He's like, no, I haven't had that mold for years, and it's like, oh man, imagine if you just thought about making an extra mold and put it
Right.
aside.
yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
like what you do. You know, you
Yeah.
just mold things twice, 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff that we're working on, we've been working on it for years and years and years, and some of these molds are like almost 10 years old,
Wow,
Wow.
and they're still around.
and they're still
Oh,
going.
man.
Yeah, yeah.
So that begs me to ask the same question. You ever think about making another mold?
We should.
You know,
We
make a
discuss
casting,
it.
make a mold.
Yeah, we discuss it.
We
That's about
discuss
it.
it, and that's as far as it goes. Because
Yeah, you know what? That's pretty much my life. I talk about all the crazy, awesome things I want to do, and then I just go back to watching, Netflix. Like, I'll start that tomorrow because I really got to binge like 8 of these episodes right now.
Oh man.
Good question. Is this purple and black paint?
Yeah, on that one
Hey, Johnny.
specifically, a lot of like kind of like modeled down like purples, so it's like almost like a purple and brown together. And I use a lot of just blacks, like it, just plain straight blacks. It makes things pop a little bit more. And as much as they're not, technically medically accurate, I really like the look of the blacks, especially on things that have a lot of decay,
Oh yeah.
I actually like the fact that it's not completely medically accurate because, again,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to finish my
Yeah.
sandwich.
Yeah.
It's even creepier because
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beyond
that
creepy.
one little thing.
Speaking of creepy,
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
there's our boy.
I mean, congratulations, first of all, on the licensing deal. I
Oh,
mean, that's
thank you.
fantastic.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, those have been a lot for us. They've
Yeah.
helped us greatly.
How did that happen? I mean, Paul and I are a million miles from ever licensing anything. But how does that happen? So you just create it, and then get in touch with them, and then ask if you can, or do they reach out to you, or how
Well, I mean, actually, what had ended up happening, and this is
I
the
like
true
this.
full story of what ended up happening.
Okay, let's hear it.
We were thinking of, okay, well, what's going to be the next project that we want to do? And there had been a few people that have asked, do you guys make Tarman or whatever? I said, no. We had bought a half-scale skeleton and had actually done like a live feed of us like building the thing, like the very, very first one. And we decided, let's make a Tarman, So we built one, and someone had bought it, and they did a review on it, and the license holder actually saw it, got in touch with us saying, you guys can't make this thing. Like,
Oh,
you don't have the licensing rights for it. You can't be making this thing. So they said, but the stuff was good. They enjoyed it, and if we wanted to get in touch with who owns the license, then maybe we could have a discussion on that. So we did. Everyone was really, really cool. We decided to go for it. You had to spend a little bit of money, obviously, to get the right
license. Do correct. Yeah.
And they just, after that, we just started making them, and almost 70 Tarman later, here we are.
Like that,
Oh my God.
70 Tarman,
amazing.
one destroyed mold,
Yeah,
one
yeah,
off mold, one mold that still works.
yeah.
Then we've got the 2 or 3 half scale molds, something like that. But these are just heads.
Yeah, just heads. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got a big fan in John Fuller. And
Yes.
Yeah, I totally agree with it. This is one of the coolest things I saw all last year. When it
That
comes
is
to the-
badass.
Thank you.
when it
Thank
comes to
you.
the-
Thank you, John.
you were talking about so you have the skeleton, you have the head that you've sculpted, but then everything else is hand done. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hand built.
Holy shit. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I mean, it's a lot of like, like screwing with the foam so it drips a certain way, but you almost have to, like, when you're mixing it all together, you kind of have to wait a little bit of time so it's like the right consistency so it can drip correctly. And then sometimes we'll add like hair or something to it so it can actually follow a line down. And it's this big to do. Like every piece of tar on there is hand pulled. So it's yeah.
So the people lucky enough to get these things are literally getting a one of a kind, like we talked about earlier. But
every time. Yep.
Yeah.
See, Grayhouse Studios. I mean, come on. You don't get any
Seriously.
I'm such a fan. I mean, we clearly, Paul and I both own, gear of yours, but it's like, it's so cool to hear like the background stuff. It's just, and the fact that it's just you two, just you. Oh, and your kids. I won't.
Yes.
The kids, they certainly helped out.
Kids, child labor laws.
Absolutely.
Child labor.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that think this is a huge company and we have all these people to help us and a big factory, and it's like, no, it's literally two people in a basement. Like that's all this
we should
is.
rename ourselves as just two people in a basement.
There we go.
Right.
Yeah, this is what, when I start thinking forensic files, I start thinking like, oh, this.
Yeah.
And the use of black, like you were saying, Michael, is like so. Yeah, I mean, if it's specifically medically correct, who cares? This is like disgusting and like wonderful. And and I see hair, so all of that had to be put in, punched in.
Yep.
Oh,
individually punched.
You guys are insane.
Yeah, and I mean that's the exact same piece as that first cadaver that you had saw. It's just
it's just the head.
Yeah, we pulled out the entire mouth and jaw.
Oh, okay, that's
yeah.
I'm gonna go back to that because I want to see that. I want to see the difference. Okay, hang on. I can do this. This is gonna be a test of Matt's ability to click backward here.
I love it. Matt's going down the rabbit hole. So while he's doing that, let me ask a question. Do you ever do conventions or anything to display your work and get it out to more of the collector masses at things like Monsterpalooza or a Mask Fest or?
I mean, I used to do conventions a few years ago. I think the last one I did was like Rock and Shock. I don't know if you remember Rock and Shock, but ever since they kind of like, the convention circuit around Massachusetts kind of like dwindled down a little bit. And then I never jumped back on. We'd love to do Monsterpalooza. I mean, we were invited to do Mask Fest, but we really just couldn't get out there. And plus production time on trying to make stuff for, a living to pay the bills and, feed your family. And then, you have to kind of make extra on the side just to, get everything prepped and ready for like a huge release of things. So, yeah. We'd like to do more. We'd absolutely love to do more conventions, but it's just time and
it seems like there's not enough hours in the day to do what you guys do already. So let alone
it's true.
Yeah,
there really is.
It's true. I mean, we
I do like the sentiment from John. If it looks like it smells horrible, you nailed it. I totally agree with that.
That should be a bump. That should be a bumper sticker.
Yeah, the chemical smells in general are worse than probably what that guy smells like. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, quick shout out to Luke Schroeder out in Culture City. Luke, Ray, and Gabriel and the boys.
Oh, hey, Luke.
That's the pumpkin carving mecca right now. So
nice.
Oh, dang.
Nice.
Good luck, boys. Hey, watch out for those rattlesnakes.
They'll get you. Every time.
But yeah, Matt, what's funny is Matt and I we've been doing Monsterpalooza the last couple of years, and we literally treat it as a demo because there's no pumpkins, so we carve butternut squash.
Right.
We wing it. We bring a big TV and show the past episodes of the show and let people see what we do. And we treat it as a boys' weekend, and we just nerd out with all our favorite artists. We just have the best time. So listen, I'll put a little 8x10 Grayhouse Studios if you guys can't be there, and we'll have you well represented, and we'll Put little links to your site and stuff. We want to make sure all our friends are represented at
Oh,
Monster
right on.
Palooza.
I'll bring this guy with me. And just be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"You want one?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but the leaf stays at home, Matt. The leaf stays full frontal at Monster Palooza.
There we
Yeah.
go.
So a little backstory on this. The first time you were on is when you started this sculpt. Am I not correct?
It's true.
It's true.
Yes.
Yep.
The Oracle. And look at
Well,
the,
Carvers
the,
and creators
the
causing
display on it
the
is
world
amazing.
to wrinkle here. I love it.
Thank you.
You're actually covering up her best assets, if I do recall correctly. There was some fun bags involved.
Yeah, our Instagram wouldn't let me post a picture of her at once. They had marked it as inappropriate because
You know what's hilarious though? If you put in the hashtag breastfeeding, no problem.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
That's
I don't know how those
fun.
things popped into my feed for some reason, but they did, and I was just
Wow.
like, "Oh wait, that's okay though." Like I didn't want to see that. I'd
Yeah.
rather see the gory stuff. I got to be honest.
So that's what
What
we
is
really
the
should
so,
do
so
is start
this is the
hashtagging
Oracle.
stuff
She's
like
got her tarot
breastfeeding.
cards. Is that what
Yes.
we're looking at?
Hashtag best mom, like best
Yeah.
mom in the world,
There we
and stuff like that.
Exactly.
You can fool the AI algorithm.
Oh,
Right.
natural. That's
that algorithm can be killer sometimes.
Oh my
though, man.
God, it's shadow
Jesus.
banning and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
all right.
So
So I
I'm
got a
like,
question
wow.
for you. So you guys will post stuff. I'm like linked to your feed somehow perfectly. So I see everything you post. But when it comes to I'll post something and I'll get 10 likes. I'm like, what is wrong? The next time I do it, I'll get 100. So it's
Right.
Yeah.
what is going on? Again, I don't want to be a
We have
slave
no
to
idea.
some social media bullshit, but it's like, wow, what is going on? I just wonder do you guys have the same problem when you post
Yes,
stuff?
Yes.
we absolutely do.
All the
Isn't that
time.
weird?
Yeah, and I mean it depends on like what time of the day you're actually doing
Yeah.
it, and
That's huge.
Oh,
it's a nightmare sometimes. I mean, especially when you really need that piece to kind of like go out there. So
blow it up.
you know, you're counting on some cash to come in for the week, and you're just like, oh man, and then nothing.
No one's seen it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
Yeah.
get that instant feeling of, oh shit, nobody likes it?
Yep.
Like I
Yeah.
get it's like, oh man.
yep.
Which is
Without a
funny
doubt.
Suck.
because a lot
They
of
have oh man, they got us trained too, because you get that dopamine rush if it's like, all right, it's going where it needs to go. And then if you
Right.
don't, you're like, well, I don't even have an eye anymore because I thought this one was
Yeah.
okay.
What am I doing? This is all bullshit.
Nobody
I need
likes
to go-
it.
I need to go
It's got
back to
negative
the
likes.
airport.
Yeah.
People actually took likes away from it.
Yeah, pretty much. It can be pretty brutal out there, you know.
Yeah.
Val, that's the thing, right? You can't put too much stock in it because we know it's all algorithms, right? Like you said,
Right.
time of day, day of the week, even
Mhm.
whatever the hot commodity is. Like right now, Halloween's huge and things of that nature. But I'll tell you what, if you guys want to jump in like bathing suits and like review
You're good.
like high heel boots, I mean,
Right.
and hats.
Get all of it.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I've
God,
done-
hair products, you'd be all right. Jesus, trillionaire. Make little.
Yeah.
You can put little. You can put You can take little plastic cups, put little circles on it with a marker, stuff a napkin in it, and put jelly beans in it. You'll get a gazillion likes.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you'll be famous because you're an influencer.
It's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
I don't understand it. I
It's
really
like,
don't.
oh, it's just like, other like I almost hate to target them because I mean, good for them. They're using what they've got to get the follows and sales and whatever. But like there are these like a lot of women painters, like these beautiful paintings, super intricate. But then they'll be sitting there in like a really nice dress and high heels painting.
Oh,
And it's like,
yeah.
I know how I am when I'm painting. I'm sure as shit not going to be wearing anything even remotely close to that because I'll just get it covered in oil.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Even the same thing as that is, again, it's always like a pretty woman with a giant canvas. She's not wearing, she's wearing like yoga pants and no shoes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the same. It's the algorithm, right? It's
Yeah.
you follow these steps, and it's just like the only thing different between you and the other lady is the color of your hair. That's about it.
Yeah.
So
pretty
just a warning, guys. My next post will be a giant pumpkin with me and yoga pants. So just be ready.
Nice.
Nice. Again, negative likes. That's where we're headed. I'm trying. I I'm trying to get rid of followers. That's what I'm trying to-
That'll work,
Well,
actually.
this
Yeah.
is I think what we need is
It's like the purge.
more real people
Right.
wearing yoga pants and like bralettes while they're working.
Yeah. You know. I mean, the beauty is I don't wear pants when I carve. Little Matt knows this because we've carved many times together and it gets uncomfortable.
It's an insider secret. Yeah.
That's the secret sauce right there. You're just-
Oh my god.
Does it work? Like, does it help?
Oh, yeah.
Obviously not.
Oh.
I mean, it does for Matt. He carves as fast as he can to get the hell out of there.
So do you do that at like Monster Palooza just to like slip your
Oh.
pants
We just
off?
don't
while
stand
you-
up.
Yes, I wear like the Borat onelet, the singlet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Matt would wear one, but he's 6'6", and that's like wearing a 8-person tent.
It would tear me in half. It would like literally rip me in half.
It would just like floss you right up the middle.
Right. My guts would just come out. Then again, you guys can make a really cool sculpture out of it.
You could cast him if it was quick enough.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You could honor his death.
Actually,
That would be
rigor,
pretty
it'll
sweet.
be fine.
And John says you can be a hot chick with 0 talent and get 500 comments and 25,000 likes. Yeah,
Absolutely.
but you know what? Paul and I aren't hot chicks, so we're gonna have to push that boat ashore or away from the shore or something.
Yeah, we got to figure out something.
Rely on our pumpkin talent.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm hanging my hat on. That's a good idea. Listen, I'm having fun talking to awesome artists and reading the comments. Like this to me is heaven. You know, on a Thursday night artistically, this is just so much fun.
Right.
Matt and I this time, especially this time of year, we do it year round now. Obviously, you know this. We've been doing it a while, but this time of year, carving a pumpkin, having some laughs with some amazing artists, having a beer is what it's all about, right? I mean,
Right.
otherwise, I mean, I could have a beer by myself, but that would just make me a lonely alcoholic who carves pumpkin. So now I feel justified.
Yeah, it's drinking with friends.
That's right.
That's it.
So speaking of carving and stuff, do you guys want to take a look at what we're doing? We only have a couple minutes left. I'll zoom in on our special guests.
Sure.
And we'll take a look at
Yeah,
any blocking done or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
I didn't.
Oh
Wow,
my
you
God.
work fast. You guys work fast.
Oh my God, you guys are fast.
Nice. Oh, that's distraught.
Okay.
I love it.
And by the way, what's the prompt again, Paul? Is it distraught?
It was a constipated cat at one point, I believe. No, it's a
Distraught
distraught Frankenstein.
Okay.
Yeah,
Distraught
Frank.
I forgot the word. Okay. Wow. All right. So that's fantastic. Believe me, Paul and I are so honored that you guys would take the challenge and carve
Love
along with us. I can't tell you. So this is a big deal for us. So thank you.
Right on.
Thank you for having us.
And then Paul, it looks like you're knee deep in.
I can't figure out what to do with the mouth yet because this time of year I'm doing so many. It's like rapid fire sculpt, and then you get into that. You know what I mean? You go with your familiar face, and then I hate it because halfway through I'm like, I've done this before in one way, shape, or another, and I hate that film
100 times. Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't want to mess with the bottom, like the muscles too much down here, because if I want to kick a jar or really open up the jar, I want to leave that alone. So I was just kind of focusing on, distraught in some way, shape, or form. That's about it. Eyebrows are going up. I don't even want to go too deep because I could change the whole format.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just these things.
Start. I mean, he certainly looks Frank-ish. I like that big brow.
If I can be frank,
May I be frank?
Yeah.
may I be frank?
So my little bastard is like this mile thick pumpkin. I've done very little because I've been like,
Yeah, but you got that great brow going already.
I'm just trying to get him like really dug in, and I think a big, I think just right there, a big nose. He has a big like schnoz, right? So I'm gonna try to like emphasize that, get the brow going, and then I'll figure out stitches and stuff later.
Yeah, you know what's funny about Frankenstein is when you think of Frankenstein, you always think of the stitches and then like the brow, right? The Neanderthal brow. But that really isn't the case, right? It can be whatever you want. It just has to be kind of stitched together at the end.
Dead looking,
Yeah.
like reanimated.
Think
Yeah.
De Niro, not not the original, not Boris.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, look at we're making progress.
You got a nice Paul, perfect shape for an underbite. I like that.
Yeah, John, you're right. That's kind of why I'm leaving it alone too. I'm a huge underbite guy anyway. Like I want to do an overbite so bad. It's like my Mount Everest. I can't bring myself to do it.
Oh,
Oh,
Paul,
how about this one? You could do a stitched mouth, the closed mouth. That would be. I've never seen that. That's amazing.
I've actually, you know, and Paige, that's a great comment. And you know what's funny? 2 times in the last month, I've actually either in an event or on the show have carved stitches in the mouth because when we just did the voodoo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, at least you know how to do it.
I'm like running out of stuff here. We need to figure out more. Like, I need to go to the deep depths of space to find other human faces and emotions that have not been carved before.
Yeah.
Because I feel like just
Okay, okay, so Paul and I have this problem. We just talked this week. We commiserate all the time. So you two, when it comes to like creating something you've already done, do you ever get to the point where like you're midway through something and you're like, I've fucking done this. I feel like I've already made this. And you get mad at yourself and you're like, why can't I figure out the next layer level or whatever? So does that happen to you? Because
That
it happens to
absolutely
me.
does. It really
Yeah.
does. You know, it's
Okay.
part of it. I mean, it's just one more thing to just, if you can get over that initial hump of, I don't know what the hell to do next, but then you do just the smallest little thing and you can carry that out through the rest of the sculpture, then you're usually golden. But sometimes,
Okay.
yeah, we'll just take shit and just like either throw it out if we're
Yep.
completely frustrated with it, or it'll go on like one of these shelves and just sit there for the rest of its life.
it's true.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that it plays into the tortured artist thing too, because while you're doing something, you can see it as something you did. But if you go back and look at like a reference photo of what you think it looked like, you're like,
Right.
I guess you could see, like my wife's real good at it because I'll be like, this is terrible. I've already done it. I've run out of whatever the talent dopamine in my brain is. I emptied it out. There's no gas station for this shit. I'm done. Like I have nothing left in the tank. And then she'll like show me a picture and she'll be like, tell me how that looks like the other one. And I'm like, I really don't have a good memory anymore, apparently, because it does look very different. But it's the anxiety of when you're doing something, right? If you're first of all, you're having a good time in a way, right? It's the process. You're enjoying what you're doing. It's creative, but at the same time, there's that little voice going, oh man, not that good. Oh, you screwed that up. There's that little, looks exactly like a different one.
Yep.
That's that balance of, you got to kind of fight through that, right? You know,
you really do.
Yeah.
You really do. And I mean, again, it's just sometimes it can be the smallest little thing that can like make that just travel to a completely different place.
I like
it's
that.
a happy accident, really, right? It's usually like one little whoops on a tool, being like, oh, all right. That kind of gives it a nice look right there.
I like that. And
thank God I'm not the only one. Whew,
and it's taking that problem, like that you think, you think you're doing the same thing every time, and then you take and you make a like one of those happy accident marks or whatever, and then just following it. I think that's the hardest part, is like making sure you actually chase it and like
absolutely,
it can be something completely different, which is the best. So.
It's not a race. It's never finished, and it's not really a race. Like I have to tell myself that it's not a race all the time. Because I'm like, sometimes you're like, I just got to get this done because what we're working on is going to rot. Like we don't have the luxury of throwing it on a shelf. And so sometimes I'll do that, but like Matt said, chase it sometimes. If it's going in a weird direction, see where it goes. That's sometimes when I'll stop and look at like anatomy or take a couple pictures of. It's hard to see because I always have a beard. So it's like I'll go to the kids and be like, all right, kick your jaw. Or somebody else's face. Let's see where how the muscle's lining up. Where's the shadow on that? How's it pulling?
Right. Yep.
And then still at the end, I go, this sucks. Well, we want to thank you guys again so much for coming back. It's been an absolute pleasure catching up with you guys. This is where we can find you guys. Is there any place else we can find your work?
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, you can find us on Facebook through Grayhouse Art, I think it is. I don't know the handle or whatever.
I don't know. At Grayhouse, no, it's Grayhouse Studios on Facebook, and it's Grayhouse underscore Studios on
I don't know.
Instagram.
We don't know.
Okay.
Hers is Bleak Works on
Yes.
Instagram. So
Bleak work. Make sure you follow that as well.
That's usually our animals and frustrations back here behind the scenes. Pieces in the middle of being made. It's all the stuff that nobody else. He doesn't really want anybody else to see it, I guess. But
Oh.
I love showing the behind the scenes stuff.
Talk about making people want to see something.
yeah,
Yeah.
without a doubt. Well, thank you guys so much for having us. We appreciate it. So
Oh my
much.
God.
Oh, you know, we're gonna have to have you back again. We got to keep the streak going. We love having us back over and over again. It's awesome.
Yeah. I tell you what, we've been jonesing to have you guys back on. It's been 2 years or something.
Yeah.
It's been a while, man.
Yeah.
But we've just been following you like rabid dogs, and
Oh God.
we will continue to. We're following you like zombified, whatever these people are. But yeah.
Well, thank you
Love it.
guys so much. We
Oh
appreciate
my
it.
gosh, couldn't get enough. And this show's been super fun. This is where you can find us. All of these social whatevers are all right on the bottom. And again, it's really more of a show. Forget us, right?
Yeah, it's not about
You
us.
go to Grayhouse Studios and just check them out. We're certainly here all the time. We're here every week. We're going to be here next week. All that fun stuff with another amazing artist. But in the meantime, go check out these crazy and talented artists. Don't task them with too much because it's 2 people.
Right.
I mean,
Get
they're
really
already-
specific.
already-
Order
already
something and
taxed.
get really specific. They love that.
and their rate is going up, by the way. So just
Yes. Well, again, thanks so much for joining
Thank
us.
you,
It was
guys.
so great to catch up. I'm glad we finally got to hook up because you and I have been talking for over a year now,
Yeah.
trying to get you back on the show. So it's good to see that you're too busy to join us and you found a little bit of time to join us. So that means chaos equals cash, and you guys are doing dynamite work, and
Thank you.
Thank you.
it's been a pleasure. So
Thank
from Matt and myself, we thank you again for being here. We thank everybody for tuning in on another Carvers and Creators, and we will see you next week. So good night, everybody.
Good
good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.